is a very personal moment for me. I want to tell you a very quick story, and I'll try to tell it quickly, but it's a story that completely changed my vision of government and my vision of democracy. And that is, it was 4 years ago, almost exactly right now, when the markets were crashing, and I realized, along with other people, there was going to be about that much window for us to zip in and get some financial reforms. And everyone was talking about all the things that were broken at the top, and they were. So lots of people talking about how we need to redesign the Commodity Futures Trading Commission and how we need to change capital reserve requirements and so on. And I thought, this is our chance. The consumer credit market is broken. It's broken down at the family level. Big financial institutions have learned that they can make great profits by tricking people, by fooling them, by pretending that the credit card is 2.9% when in fact it's 22.9%, by pretending that the mortgage is going to cut your costs when in fact it is going to cost you your home.
Yes.
And so I had this idea for the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. I went to Washington, I talked to our friends about it, and they told me two things. The first thing they said was, this could make a real difference in the lives of millions of people. It won't fix everything, but it'll fix a big hole in the bottom of the boat for a lot of families who won't get cheated in the future, who'll have a voice in Washington for them. That was the first thing they said. The second thing they said was, don't do it. Now think about this. The don't do it was because you can't possibly win. You will be up against the biggest lobbying force assembled on the face of the earth. Washington is in gridlock. Nothing can happen. You cannot make this happen because the banks will make it their number one priority to kill it. So now, I am sufficiently inexperienced in the ways of Washington that I thought what they were saying to me was, try harder, I read too many Nancy Drew novels for intrepid girl policymaker. And so I thought, okay, if you can't make something work through the inside game, how do you make it work? The answer has to be that you've got to be able to play the outside game. And so I thought, how do you play an outside game here? How do you make this work organization? So I thought, I know how to get organized. Conference call. My first conference call, I had 2 people, which I think legally does not qualify as a conference call. Second conference call had 4. Third conference call had 10, and then it hit me, the groups. And I never tell this story without stopping to say, God bless the AFL-CIO. They said, we will make this our fight. God bless SEIU, said, we will make this our fight. God bless AARP, said, we will be part of this. Consumers Union said, credit cards, toasters, we're in this. The NAACP, the Leadership Conference on Civil Rights. Ultimately, we had more than 200 groups across the country representing collectively hundreds of thousands of people. We had emails, we were writing letters to the editor, we were doing blog posts, and when the day came, and it came in January of 2010, to kill the consumer agency in the United States Senate, we were organized enough to push back and say, we just want to vote. You can vote for banks or you can vote for families. Some people objected to that framing, but I thought it was entirely appropriate. But give us a vote. And when they had to give us a vote out in public, that's how we got a good, strong consumer financial protection. So, I say that tonight for 2 powerful reasons. The first is, the next time somebody tells you it's not possible to get anything done, look them right back in the eye and say, Consumer Financial Protection Bureau, we added something that changed the world. And you'll have your own story to tell. People all across the country have their own stories now to tell. And it's just a little baby agency, just celebrated its first birthday a couple of weeks ago. So the first thing is, it is possible to make change, and not just little change, big change. But the second part of the message is how we do it. We do it by getting organized. We do it by putting the wind in our own sails. That's how we make it happen. So I am so pleased to be here tonight. And I'm pleased for a sort of double reason. Yes, it's about this election. Yep, we're 90 days away, and you are the ones who are going to make it happen. But it's more than just this election. I'm not running for the United States Senate just so I can go off down there and be a senator and get involved in more gridlock. I am running because there are changes we must make. Our children are counting on us. Our seniors are counting on us. The future is counting on us. I am running to make those changes. And so what we do here tonight, the way we get organized, what we learn, we not only change what's out there, we change ourselves. And we find out what we're capable of doing. We find out how we know how to make the changes that need to be made. So I just want to say to you, I'm dropping by tonight to say thank you. And I want you to understand, this is a significant part of this campaign. You're my third stop tonight, not my last. But that's what it's going to be. Because this is now where the campaign will happen, and more importantly, it's where change will happen. So I say this to you. I'll be out there working every day, every night. I've taken the point position, but what I'm counting on is all of us are in this one together. So thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I tell you what, how about Alice says she's going to moderate here. We'll do just one or two questions, but then I am going to have to zip out, and you can stay and talk to Alice. And then you have to get back to work.
Yes. I know it's kind of a third round of politics, but do you think there's any hope for getting the things to shift on the gun question?
There has to be. The answer is there just has to be. But you know where I think it starts? I would just give you two parts about the strategy. I think one part about the strategy goes to this point of being organized. The more we get organized, the more we get empowered, the more we get the kinds of laws in Washington that reflect our values. And when I say our values, I don't mean 51-49. I mean the values of most of the American people. And that's part of what we want to harness here. We just have to get it started. We got to get that ball started rolling. That's number one. The second thing I just want to say about it is we also have to be opportunistic. You got to start with something that's easy for people to get and that most people agree with. Assault weapons, right? The notion, not because it's the only problem, it's not the only problem, but it's one that's easy for people to get. And the idea, let me just say it bluntly, Scott Brown voted for the assault weapons ban here in Massachusetts when he thought his life would entirely be in the Massachusetts legislature. And then he goes off down to Washington, and all of a sudden it's a different world. So he says that assault weapons ban should be a state-by-state decision, which means, in effect, the federal laws, or I'm sorry, saying it the wrong way, what Massachusetts can do to protect itself is just whatever the law is of the least effective state in the country, because you buy your guns and bring them over here. So I think that's one where we can push and start pushing hard, and a good one to get organized around. Good, good. One more? Anybody have one more? All right, if you don't have one more, I'm just going to say this. I believe in equal pay for equal work.
Yes.
And a woman's access to I believe in this. I just thought if we were going to have women here tonight, then I also have to say, I cannot believe we are talking about this in 2012. And if nothing else energized me, although plenty does, if nothing else energized me, the notion that this could be an issue for my daughter and my granddaughters, we are not going back. So that's going to be an issue we're going to be talking about more in this campaign too. Thank you all for
Thank you. Thank you to you. Woo!